Have you ever noticed how strange it feels when everyone around you is obsessed with a game and you just feel nothing? No excitement, no loyalty to a team, no urge to watch, argue, or celebrate. People look at you like you're missing something, but here's the truth most people never hear. Not caring about sports isn't a flaw. It's a psychological pattern, and once you understand it, everything clicks. Here's the psychology of people who don't care about sports and why they're wired differently. They don't get their identity from groups. Most sports obsession isn't about the game, it's about identity. Teams give people a ready-made sense of belonging, a we, a tribe. But people who don't care about sports usually don't rely on external groups to define who they are. Their identity is internally anchored. They don't feel the need to borrow excitement, pride, or self-worth from a team they didn't build. Psychologically, this points to higher emotional independence. They validate themselves internally, not socially. So when others feel connected through jerseys and rivalries, these people feel detached, not superior, just uninterested. Their brain doesn't reward passive excitement. Sports trigger dopamine through anticipation and emotional highs, wins, losses, drama. But not everyone's brain responds strongly to second-hand adrenaline. People who don't care about sports tend to crave active engagement, not passive stimulation. They want to create, think, analyze, or build, not just watch outcomes unfold. Psychology links this to higher intrinsic motivation. Their reward system lights up when they're doing something meaningful, not observing someone else do it. So sitting through a game feels empty, not boring, just unfulfilling. They're less influenced by social conditioning. Most people don't choose sports, they inherit them. Family rituals, cultural norms, peer pressure. If you didn't emotionally absorb that conditioning early, it never sticks. People who don't care about sports are often less susceptible to social mimicry. They don't automatically adopt interests just because everyone does. Psychology calls this lower normative social influence. They resist blending in just to belong. That's why they can sit in a room full of passionate fans and feel zero urge to pretend. They don't externalize emotion as easily. Sports give people permission to release emotion, anger, joy, aggression, pride. For many, it's emotional outsourcing. But people who don't care about sports tend to process emotions internally, quietly, privately. They don't need an external event to justify how they feel. This often correlates with higher emotional regulation. They're less reactive to external triggers and more reflective. So the emotional roller coaster of sports feels unnecessary, even exhausting. They're more future-oriented than moment-driven. Sports live in the moment. This play, this score, this season. People who don't care about sports often live mentally in the future. Plans, ideas, possibilities. Their attention naturally drifts toward long-term thinking rather than immediate excitement. Psychology links this to delayed gratification and abstract thinking. They don't chase short bursts of emotion, they invest in things with lasting impact. That's why they'd rather read, learn, create, or rest than watch hours of unpredictable outcomes. They're uncomfortable with irrational loyalty. Sports fandom requires emotional loyalty without logic, defending a team regardless of facts, celebrating strangers' achievements as personal victories, arguing outcomes you can't control. For some minds, that feels irrational. People who don't care about sports often value consistency, logic, and personal agency. They struggle to emotionally commit to something they can't influence. Psychologically, this reflects higher need for cognitive coherence. Their brain resists emotional attachment without direct involvement. So the whole system just doesn't register as meaningful. They don't need distraction to feel alive. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many people use sports as escape from stress, from dissatisfaction, from boredom. People who don't care about sports are often more comfortable sitting with themselves. Silence doesn't scare them. Stillness doesn't feel empty. They don't need constant distraction to feel okay. This points to higher self-awareness and tolerance for introspection. They find stimulation internally, and once you reach that point, external hype loses its power. So, if you don't care about sports, it doesn't mean you're cold, antisocial, or missing out. It means your brain prioritizes meaning over momentum, depth over noise, internal reward over external validation. And in a world addicted to constant stimulation, that's not common. If this made you feel understood, even a little, you're not alone. Subscribe for more psychology that explains the things you've always felt but never had words for.